Alrighty, I'm just going to even the ink out here on this plexiglass plate. And introduce myself while I do that. I'm Mark Zimmerman. I'm a visiting artist, and I'm virtually at Sanford Hospital through the Sanford Arts program. Also through the State Arts Council and the NEA too. So I've got a very thin sheet of ink, or layer of ink on top of that plexiglass. I'm going to drop paper over it and then draw or rub on the back of that paper and transfer the ink to the front, the underside. And there's just kind of something cool about the transferred image. Alright, so tape it down so it can't run around. I'm going to feel the edge of that tape with my pen. Poke it up into that corner and find that corner. Drag it along. I was kind of thinking I would draw a frog, but I'm kind of thinking maybe I don't want to draw a frog. I'm kind of thinking maybe I want to go back to what I play with all the time. I'll go back to a landscape, a high plains landscape, a landscape I really love. I love the open space of the high plains. I love driving across South Dakota when I get to that Missouri River heading west, and the plains just stretch out in front of you. It's just magnificent. So I'm calling that a little put some fences in behind some grass, fence posts rather. Put some wire on those posts. And the thing about the plains, they tend to be understated, not overstated. So when you draw those buttes, the trick is to underdraw them. So I'm, again, transferring ink to the underside of this. I can transfer ink by touching it even. So I'm going to come back here just with my finger, put a little pressure on the back of the paper, transfer ink that way. Transfer a little ink with my thumb up there and a little ink over here. And just a touch there. I don't know about you, but I grew up in a square house on a square block in a town made of squares. There's a square. And I'm going to drop this right in here. Draw a little wind butting up against the sun. So I just have a little template that I'm holding very lightly so I don't transfer too much ink underneath the template. And I'm not pressing as hard as I was. Down below I want this to look a little ethereal. Try not to bunch the tripod the camera's on too. Oh, I didn't mean to move that. Let's trace this side of it. There we go. There's our square. If you grew up in a square house on a square block, and you start thinking about squares, you've flown over South Dakota and you notice all those squares out the plane window. Pretty soon you start drawing squares in your sky. Can't be helped. So I got day over there and night over here. I'm putting extra pressure up in here in the top. And a little extra right down in here too. Alright, time for a peek. I can lift this tape up and take a peek. See what I got. Not bad, but I think I want one little bit more, little darkness, a little darker value down there toward the bottom. There we go. That'll work. I'm going to splash a little watercolor on here now. There's the ink transfer drawing. You'll notice that it came out backwards, right? So what was on the left is now on the right. Get my plate out of here, get my pencils and my pens out of here. Get ready to splash a little watercolor down. So if this is day, and that's my sun. Suns are yellow, right? But they belong in the corner. Ask any little kid. So a little orange. This is watercolor paint. It's tube watercolors, but I put it all in solution, so I just have to dunk it in a cup, and so it's fast. If I miss little bits, there's tiny little spots that I've missed. I kind of like that because then those little spots end up being sparkles in the final painting. That's too dark. There's a little water. So rather than white watercolor paint, I have water. And just putting a sunset in here. Soften up a little of that, soften that up a little bit. There we go. I'm going to come down with some indigo. lighter at the bottom again, just because I did it lighter on the bottom on the yellow side. Oh, and do I want that? No, I don't. Let's bring that in there so it kind of fades into nothingness. Here's our day and night. And the land at night is always kind of bluish. It's a nice turquoise blue, and I'm going to just bring it across here. And I don't want it blue. But I just painted it blue, so what do? I'm going to come back, change that blue. So blue and orange make sort of a olive green. It's not a bad color for this painting. I think I come back with more blue. I'm going to turn this just because it's pretty uncomfortable otherwise. Not sure why I keep painting the edges. I should quit that. So sign them in pencil. Long title. So I'm calling this Night and Day Reprise. Should be sitting somewhere, unless somebody already took it, should be sitting in the waiting room somewhere near the monitor you're watching. And there should be a stack of these ink transfer drawings, and they are free for the taking. So if you dig through the stack, find one you like, help yourself. And hope you enjoyed watching.